Good morning. Good morning to the graduates, to the families, teachers, staff, the board members, community members, and representatives from the Charter Institute at Erskine. I had the opportunity to meet our valedictorian and salutatorian backstage before I came up, and I told Jordan, don't be so good that I can't go up there and follow you, and I think you did even better than I thought you would, but it also gave me an example. And Jordan, thank you for sharing that story, because it's one of the reasons I drove down from Greenville to be here with you all today. I have a deep love for this school. And I want to do that dramatic thing where I'm like, I had a speech written, and I'm going to tear it up and just speak from the heart, but I'll have you here way too long. And last night we were sitting at our hotel, and one of you, I don't know who you are, but was out at the State House in your gown and taking some amazing pictures and having fun. And I'm also aware enough to know that I'm one of the main people that's standing in the way of you getting out of this room today and doing exactly what it is you want to do with your friends and family. So for that, I'm going to stick to my script. And I want to just thank you for allowing me to be a part of this moment with you. And before I attempt to say anything inspirational, motivational, or actually get into my speech, I want to just quickly honor, if it's okay, because I know we have one student who should be here with us today and who isn't. I know we're going to have a moment of silence, and it's going to remind us that some stories stay with us. And in my work a lot, I talk about how two or more things can be true at the same time, and we can hold multiple emotions together. And so for many of us today, even in this moment, joy and sadness and grief can ride in the same car together. Sometimes we might clap while we have tears in our eyes. And that doesn't make this moment less meaningful. It makes it more human. And I love that we can honor that. And graduates, that's what it brings me to today. What I really want to talk about today is a concept that actually we've already heard today, and that's resilience. And we talk about resilience in a way that is incorrect sometimes. I believe sometimes we talk about it in a way that means that we just deal with things and keep pushing through like they don't matter. And like we just deal with everything we can, and it never gets to us, y'all. But that's not the truth. That is pretending. It's not resilience. But take a look around. Look at you. You have your cap, you have your gown, you have your diploma, you have your whole future in front of you. And this is where I'm supposed to give that classic commencement speech about the unwavering road ahead of you and all the great things that you're going to accomplish, which you will. But what I really want to talk to you about today is something that can possibly be even more important if you learn to embrace it, and that's failure. Now, failure matters because if we learn how to use it, it can be one of our greatest teachers. And that's not because failure is fun, because it isn't. Nobody wakes up on a given day and says, you know what would make today great? A life-altering lesson. It's not going to happen. But that's where resilience comes in. And resilience isn't about never falling down. It's about learning how to fall, how to get support, and how to learn after we do. And I call that, along with many other people, failing forward. And so failing forward means the mistake doesn't get the final word. It means that the setback can become a teacher in your life. And graduates, I know a little bit about my story not ending up the way it should. So I speak and I train on mental health and work with people in my community. I've been all around the world doing this kind of stuff. And believe it or not, this is my first time ever getting to do a high school commencement speech, or a commencement speech, period. And when my friend Ashley, where are you? When she asked me to do this, I have to be honest with you, it was hard for me. Anybody ever heard of imposter syndrome? I was dealing with that a little bit. And the root of it is, why me? What do I have to offer you on what is right now one of the biggest days in your life that you've had so far? And the more I sat with it and really questioned it and reflected it, the more I realized that what I'm talking about today has been a common thread on every major chapter in my life, and that's failure. And not failure as the end of the story, but failure as the place where my story changed direction. And that's the heart of failing forward. Because challenge with support can help you grow. The difference between difficulty crushing you and the difficulty helping you grow is often the support around us, how we can make meaning in it, and how we lean into the relationships we have to take the next right step. So think about working out. If you go to the gym and you put too much weight on the bar and you don't plan how much you're gonna lift and it's too heavy, you can really hurt yourself. But if you have somebody there to spot you and you do the right amount of reps and you do the right amount of weight, that's how muscles grow. And now, since the brain likes to remember things in threes, I'm gonna give you 3 things to hopefully take with you from today. Not 6, not 7, but 3. Resilience is built the same way that physical strength is. It's with resistance, it's with reps, and it's with relationships. So let's kick it off. Let's start with resistance. Resistance is the challenge. It is the weight on the bar. It's that hard class, that difficult season, the uncomfortable conversation, the plan that doesn't go right. About 30 years ago, I was right up the road starting my college journey right here at the University of South Carolina. I was 17 years old. I knew exactly what I wanted out of life. I had a full ride. I was the kid that was probably up speaking at graduation too. Had a full ride scholarship for journalism. I thought I wanted to work for ESPN. I knew exactly how life was going to pan out. And I got down here, and I didn't take it seriously, and I partied too much, and I did all the things that your parents and your guardians and your caregivers are telling you to watch out for. And fast forward to the end of the fall semester, full scholarship gone. 1.6 GPA, I had to drop out. I was back at home, living with my friend, and I didn't know what was going to be next. Now, that was really humbling. That was resistance. It was painful. It was embarrassing. And it taught me something that I needed to learn really bad, is that, and get this, potential isn't the same as purpose. Talent is not the same thing as discipline. And having an opportunity doesn't mean you automatically know how to carry it. Some resistance isn't here to destroy you. Some of it's here to wake you up. And for many of you, and I heard it even from your classmate, is online learning didn't always mean that learning was easier. Sometimes it meant you had to learn how to manage your time, to stay focused, how to show up for class when somebody wasn't physically standing over you telling you to log on. Many of you had to build skills that adults in this room sometimes don't even have yet, and for that you should commend yourself. These are real life skills and these are grown-up skills. And I also want to say something really clearly to some of you in the room, because I also work with a lot of young people who go to online school, and I know there's a lot of reasons that you make that choice. So some of you may be thinking, I spent a lot of time trying to avoid this resistance that you're talking about. Maybe school was overwhelming in the first place. Maybe it was anxiety producing. Maybe logging in felt safer than walking into a building. Maybe you learned to protect yourself by pulling back from social situations or being quiet. And I want you to know this, I'm not here to shame that, but think about this. The problem is that what protects us in one season can actually set us back in another if we aren't aware of it. So as you move forward, I'm not asking you or telling you to throw yourself into everything at once, but try to get a little bit of that healthy resistance as much as you can. Take the class, make the call, have that unhealthy conversation, or not unhealthy, that uncomfortable conversation. Be on the intramural team. Go to the job interview that you don't know if you're going to get. Try the difficult thing, but not all at once. Try it a little bit at a time, because in life, just like in the gym, a little bit of healthy resistance can be the difference in how you grow. So the second thing is reps or repetitions. Our muscles need repetition to grow. And even with our brain, musicians know this. You don't get better at an instrument. I wish I played an instrument. You don't get better at an instrument by just playing every once in a while. You play by showing up over and over and over again, because failure isn't the outcome. Failure is the practice that you need to get better. You study, you learn, you ask, what happened? How can I adjust? What can I learn from this? And that's failing forward. Now, you already know that I served. After 9/11, I joined. I did all the things, deployed to Iraq in April of 2003. I was in that early part of it, and I'll tell you that I got a lot of repetitions with things like fear, responsibility, being a long way away from home, being scared as you fill in the sentence. I learned what it meant to carry some really heavy things. And when I came home, those repetitions kind of got the best of me. My life ended up in a really, really bad place. Now, I know that just because of what I do, I know that we in this room, there are people that many of us struggle with mental health issues. And I got into the lowest place of my life then. And I didn't know what was going to go forward. And I just thank God that I had people around me that could help me with some really hard lessons, like learning how to heal, learning how to ask for help, realizing that I couldn't do things like that and bounce back alone. Graduates, mistakes are not proof that you are broken. They are proof that you are moving, that you are trying. Our goal in life is to not fail or to not have stress or adversity. It's to adjust our relationship with it. And it can mean all the difference. You are going to apply for something and not get it. You're going to have a breakup. You're going to have a fight with friends. And it doesn't mean your story's over. It means you have information. Use it. And third, maybe the most important one are relationships. Because resilience relies on relationships. Relationships help us rise. We are wired for connection. We best grow when we have people around us who are safe enough to tell us the truth, who will check you when you get a little bit out of line, and do it in a way that doesn't crush your spirit. You need those people in your life. And I know that because one of the greatest gifts in my life, and she's probably watching somewhere from the internet, wherever she is right now, is my mom. She didn't fix everything for me. She couldn't protect me from every little consequence, but she was steady. She was safe. She was secure, and she was always there. Because she was there, I could keep coming back. And when I came back, sometimes I was in a place to learn and listen from her and hear things that I wasn't ready to hear when I was younger. That kind of consistency matters. So sometimes remember this, the people in our life, the ones that love us the most, they don't save us from every little hard thing. They stay close and safe enough for us to go through it, not alone. The people around you can either help you stay stuck or help you move forward. Choose wisely. And that actually takes me to my final chapter that I'll share with you today. Because years after, remember, dropped out of school, served in the Army at the lowest point in my life, and I went back to a high school graduation. And hopefully all of y'all have somebody in this room on staff that you could go to at the school. And I had somebody, she was my school counselor, Miss Barbara Seaburn, and I saw her at this high school graduation. She asked me what I was doing nothing. And she gave me a swift kick in the butt, like a good school mom would. She told me about the field of social work. So I went back to school out of respect for her just to check it out. I enlisted. I signed up for school, I enrolled, finished my undergrad degree, got my master's degree, and now I've had the ability to do some amazing things that I'm very proud of. I've worked with fellow combat veterans. I've worked with schools. I've worked with local community programs. I've worked with young people going through some of the darkest days of their lives and been able to go through it with them. And it's an honor to say that, and it's an honor to be there with you. And that's relationships. Those are people who help you recalculate. And graduates, you did not get here alone either. Behind every graduate is somebody who gave, who sacrificed, who reminded, who remembered, who encouraged, and sometimes who believed in you until you could believe in yourself. So I want you to take a moment, maybe eyes closed, eyes open, and just in your mind, think of somebody who helped you get here today. Maybe they are sitting in this room. Maybe they're watching from somewhere abroad or afar. Maybe they're not here with you anymore, but their story, their guidance, their wisdom that they gave you during the time you were blessed to have with them, maybe that still guides you. And just hold them in your heart because nobody got here alone. This day belongs to them too. It belongs to the grandparents, the aunties, the tios y tias, abuelos, abuelitas, siblings, cousins, mentors, coaches, teachers, staff, community members, all those folks who made an influence to you, maybe even with a chancleta. They're part of your story too. And to the families, gracias por su amor y sus sacrificios. To all the families here, thank you for your love and for all the sacrifices you made to help these young people get here today. This is your day too. Este también es su día. You might not receive a diploma today, but you get honor too because this work is sacred work. So class of 2026, the world does not need you to be perfect. It needs you to be present. It needs you to be kind, to be compassionate, to be courageous, to be creative. It needs your gifts. So when life gets heavy, when life gets tough, remember the 3 R's. We need resistance, we need reps, we need relationships. So go forward. try things, do things, give kindness, give forgiveness, fail forward. So as I say congratulations to the graduates, I challenge you, go forth and build a life your younger self will be proud of, your future self will thank you for, and that your community will be better because of. Thank you.